Well, you're here with Mitzi May and Dekk,
Hey.
and we are about to play Umineko, When They Cry, number 3. Dekk, give us an introduction as to why we are doing this.
Well, I have already read the entire visual novel, and I wanted my sister to read as well, which was an impossible task. So
Why was it impossible?
Well, we're working on it now, but if you're wondering why we're starting from episode 3, it's because I forced her to watch the first 2.
Oh, wait, we're not starting at the beginning?
No.
Oh, I thought we were starting at the beginning.
No, you've already seen the first 2 from Joe Chrono's channel. Go check them out. They're pretty funny.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but it was still hard trying to get her to read it, so
The problem is,
You fall asleep.
I keep falling asleep. But also, you put it on, like, at the end of, like, the evening, so it's really late.
It's nice to chill at
It's nice to chill out. Joe Cronin, they like, Ben and Felix just have really soothing, relaxing voices.
Yeah, kind of.
They do it so well that I fall asleep.
Well, yeah. We're starting at episode 3. What was I going to say?
Well, I knit a blanket.
Well, she knits a blanket that
we're
we're
using
using
as
as
a
a pop filter. I'm hoping this is an easier way to get her to get through it quicker. Because I love the story and want someone to talk about it with. So I'm forcing her to sit down and read this with me.
I'm also very interested to see if I actually fall asleep while reading it.
Yeah, me too.
We're not sure what will happen.
So this will be the first video from us. Possibly the last, you never know.
No, don't say that.
We'll see how it goes, and we haven't decided how we'll do it, like whether it'll be once a week, twice a week, once a month. Hopefully not, but we'll see how it goes. Right now she's sitting next to me, but I think in the future a few of the episodes, or most of them, will probably be through like Zoom or some online screen share. Well,
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. We should get started. We haven't decided on who's doing any voices, I guess. I think since I'm a guy and she's a girl, I can essentially...
You spoil the mystery. Although you did say sister, yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I guess for the most part I'll take the male roles and you can take the females.
Will you be able to tell me which... sometimes I don't know which person is which.
Sometimes I won't know which person is which.
Fair.
Like who's talking, because if you noticed in Joe Croner's playthrough as well,
Yep.
well, not by their fault, but it's kind of difficult to know who's talking at some points, which is just how the novel was done, which they've improved on Synchronia, I think, but for now we're just going to have to guess and see how it goes. Alright, I think we should start and stop stalling and talking about nonsense, so here we go.
The door is opening.
Most nostalgic sound. Okay, this is coming up because I've already finished it. We're not going to cast it, so that's essentially chapter select. It's based on a true story.
Yeah.
My mum's favourite.
Oh, true story. I love it.
See, I wanted you to listen to the music as well, because it has some nice songs.
Yeah, Dekk really loves playing some of the songs on piano. and I have no idea what he's playing when he tells me what it is.
Alright, there is a narrator.
Oh, there is? I can do the narrating.
Hang on, we're on episode 3. I think I'll take the narrating.
Okay.
But for this specific scene, I think you can do it.
Okay. The vase was very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. Of course, it was a member of Grandfather's favourite collection. So that I didn't accidentally destroy its fragile beauty, was always given strict orders never to touch it. But that just made me want to touch it. It looked light and yet so elegant that just glancing at it gave it an indescribable sense of dignity. I wanted to see what it felt like to touch a vase like that. However, just as Grandfather had said, it was a thing that shouldn't be touched. Something this beautiful should never be touched. Such beauty can only dwell in something so easily broken. Because of that, just the brush of a finger by someone like me would... Just like how a fun dream disappears with a poof when you wake up. It disappeared, fell, and broke into pieces.
Okay, it's been a long time. I really can't remember who this is.
I realized that, because of my own foolish curiosity, I had done something that couldn't be taken back. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the broken vase would not be returned to its original form. Grandfather will probably scold me, probably very harshly. I ended up breaking into tears and sobbing, frightened. As I did, I noticed something beautiful, lightly dancing golden butterflies were coming towards me. As mysteriously glowing golden dots shone in the air, the beautiful butterflies began to gather, one at a time. Oh, it's Beatrice. Beatrice, that reliable golden witch, had arrived. The butterflies kept gathering until they formed a cloud, and then she was there.
This is your first time seeing...
Yeah, I was gonna say, who is this? She was always there for me. Whenever I was in trouble, she'd always appear and save me. Good day to you, princess. Beatrice! Wah, hick hick. Beatrice! Oh my. Why are you crying so, and on a day so well suited for a tea party? I broke Grandfather's precious vase. Wah, Grandfather's gonna get mad at me. I don't know what to do. I see, that is worrying. The master really treasured this particular vase, didn't he? Imagining how he'll punish you scares even me, Beatrice.
I think that's even me, Beatrice.
Probably was.
Grandfather... Oh, yeah, you're still going.
Grandfather was a very frightening person, and when you failed to follow something he said even once, he would become so mad with a rage that would make even the fallen angels in hell quiver. Since I knew that down to my bones, I couldn't do anything but tremble and cry. I possess no magic that can scoop up your fallen tears, princess. But if you need magic that will prevent the master from scolding you, I might be able to manage something. Really? Yes, if you'll be gracious enough to believe in my power, princess. The power of belief is the source of magic. Miracles only appear before those of great faith. I believe. I believe in your power, Beatrice. So please, fix this vase. Tom, don't attack my feet, please.
That's kind of fitting.
If that is what you want, princess, then leave it to me, Beatrice. When she extended her index finger, a golden butterfly softly landed there and changed its form into her favourite cane. But even that was enough to give me a small glimpse at Beatrice's wonderful and awesome magic power. She pointed her cane at the broken vase, and, just like a child's lullaby, she began speaking the magic words. Come, try closing your eyes, and try to remember. What form did you have? It was surely a very, very beautiful form. Please, show me that form one more time. Were they words, or was it a song? No, it had to be magic. After all, can't you see? The pieces of the vase are rapidly gathering together, gently returning to the place where they'd been on display, reassembling into their original form. Incredible! See? Now it's back to normal. This way, you won't have to get yelled at by the master.
So what's happening? Oh, no, this isn't one yet.
Wait, I recognize this song.
I did used to play this one. I think I tried playing it the other day too.
Yeah. Beatrice, you really are amazing. You can fix broken vases like it's nothing. That's not true. Returning something broken to its original form is a very, very difficult thing to do. My magic can only make it remember what it once was for a short time. But the vase really turned back to the way it was, right? Correct. But that doesn't mean the vase has avoided its fate of being broken. All I did was temporarily get the broken vase to remember its form before it broke. I have not yet attained the high levels of magical power that might be used to restore a broken fate to its original form. At that time, the high-pitched scream of a servant could be heard from inside the mansion. When I went to see what had happened, I noticed that several of the servants had gathered and were cleaning up the remains of the broken vase. From what they said, it seemed a black cat had sneaked in from somewhere and had climbed up on the vase, causing it to break.
Told you it was fitting. She attacked you right now.
Tom is our cat. I understood the meaning of Beatrice's words. At the moment I broke the vase was broken. Beatrice let me see the vase being restored, but that was a temporary thing. It didn't mean she'd changed the fate of the vase being broken. And so, the vase remembered its true fate and broke. However, the one who broke it wasn't me, but a cat that had snuck in. That's right. Beatrice never said, "Let's fix the vase." She said she'd prevent the master from scolding me. The fate of the vase breaking hadn't changed, but the fact that I broke it certainly has. Beatrice cleverly saved me from danger with that magic. She's come back.
It's the heater.
It is very easy to break something. After all, you didn't need magic to break that vase, princess. Then, is fixing stuff really hard? It is. It's so hard that you broke down crying, unsure of what to do. Does that mean magic is easier to use when doing terrifying things? That breaking and killing is really easy, but fixing and reviving things is really hard? That's right. With magic, it is far easier to break and kill. That's why weak witches lose to temptation and become intoxicated with gathering easy power for themselves, neglecting their true magical training. Real magic is the power to repair, to revive, to summon happiness that has disappeared, to summon love that has grown cold, and it can even summon a smile to the face of a princess who has forgotten how. Then, Beatrice, since you managed to fix that vase, does that mean you're an incredible witch? My days of training are far from over. After all, I couldn't make the vase forget its fate for even an hour. I'm sure my teacher, who taught me magic, would have been able to restore the vase to its original form forever. So if it kept breaking and breaking, she'd be able to fix it over and over again? Yes. When one reaches that level, they are considered to be an endless witch. That is the endless level that all witches ought to reach. We offer the utmost respect to those witches and call them by that title. An endless witch. That's right. To witches with the power to mend things endlessly, the concept of breaking doesn't even exist. They are released from all the sadness caused by losing things and are promised eternal bliss. Certainly, the human world is full of sadness caused by separation and loss. To escape that sadness, people pray to gods and ask for the power to withstand their sadness, believing it to be a test. In other words, a human's life is a journey, searching for a way to withstand sadness. In that case, a witch who could revive all things would be freed from all sadness in the world. Simply put, that would mean eternal bliss. I wonder if I could become a witch like you and gain eternal happiness. You, princess? Ho 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 ho. It is a long, long, difficult path, you see. I want to become a witch. I want to find happiness. Beatrice, I want to become your disciple. Do you have even a trace of doubt in that feeling? No. I want to become a witch too. I understand. Then, until you get tired of me, I will make you my disciple. Will you call me teacher? Yes, teacher. That's a good answer. Then from now on, learn the depths of magic along with me. I am also in training. Let us both learn the proper use of magic, doing our best to reach that blissful level. Yes, teacher. So is the girl on the screen the one that's doing the talking?
You mean that Beatrice we just saw?
So that was the Beatrice, that wasn't
There
the
was
girl.
a supposed Beatrice and someone else that was having a back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. If there's random sneezing, it's the cat. The cat's got a
me.
cold.
Or what's this? We have bad allergies.
A dream. That face takes me back.
So,
An endless witch, was it? That rank I'd yearned for in the past as the highest possible achievement was now just another one of my titles. No, you might even call it my calling card. Every once in a while, being called that can be quite satisfying. I trained so many days to achieve that rank. It'd be a bit of a waste if I never got a chance to appreciate it.
imagine you do your old cackle,
What old cackle?
your evil laugh.
I could do that. Should we give them accents? I don't know if I'm confident in my accents.
Don't have to give them accents. I can't do any accents, but like, just kind of give them a voice and a personality that you visually think they.
I think it's
give
going to
off.
be like as we get further into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably, but we'll see how it goes. I'll go from now.
Yeah.
She shook her head lightly. If it's the highest possible level, that means there's nothing higher. An eternal dead end. The beginning of eternal boredom.
I remember what teacher told me. When one is released from all sadness, it is the same as eternal bliss. That's what makes me think that teacher couldn't ever have reached that level.
Eternal bliss means eternal boredom. And that's the beginning of eternal torture. But it all depends on how you look at it. Eternal boredom is the same as a sketchbook that doesn't run out of pages. It means you can draw whatever you want, can try to have as much fun as you want. Boredom is the worst sort of poison which kills all witches. Even those great witches who are given the title Lady fear it. It's the eternal poison that tortures them because of the eternal bliss they've reached.
Now that I've earned the name of Endless Witch, I truly wish I could speak with teacher again. Is happiness really what lay at the end of our training? And just what is happiness? I wish I could talk with her about that now. Training has no end. When you think you've reached the eternal level, that's exactly the time to bemoan your own immaturity. I recalled those words as though she'd answered me directly. I see, so immature am I? How amusing, how truly amusing.
The sound of painfully shrill laughter rang out. It was coming from my furniture. What, did they break their toy again?
Beatrice Summer! This guy stopped moving again.
So, you remember?
I forgot her name, but I remember she's like one of the minions for Beatrice.
So, there's 7 of them. Do you want to split some of them?
Yeah.
So that I take some?
Yeah,
so it's not you just going like back and forth to yourself?
Yeah, do you want to do this one?
Well, you've already... yeah, I'll take this one.
Yeah, I think you should do some female characters.
Yeah, I will. There's one I definitely want to do.
Okay.
But that's not for a long time.
Well, you can take this one away, Jackie.
Beatrice Summer, this guy stopped moving again. You can do this.
I haven't had nearly enough fun yet. What a pathetic man.
But I haven't gotten a chance to play at all yet. Let me play, let me play.
Be silent, filth. If you keep devouring him like starving dogs, of course he'll keep breaking away. Right away, no matter how well Beatrice Summer fixes him up.
Just quickly, do you know what's happening? Do you remember what happened at the end of episode 2?
Is this when Battler is like... He basically like gives in to Beatrice.
Yeah. So at the end of the second game, he essentially kind of just gave up. He was like, okay, everything you told me was what happened.
Yeah. And then they ate him?
Yeah.
So
the goats ate him.
She keeps like reviving him and they're just eating him?
Toying with him, yeah.
Ugh.
You broke him the worst, Satan. Nair.
Is it Satan or Satan?
It's, well, they're all like, all their names are based on like different names of the devil.
Oh, okay, well, yes, we'll go with Satan.
You broke him the most, Satan. There, you just don't know what holding back means.
My apologies, Beatrice Summer. Please forgive my stupid little sisters. I'm not going to remember all these voices.
Try, I think like a... I don't know.
Do you want to say British?
No, just like... I don't know how to word it. Whatever. Fix him quickly! I'm next!
must you keep up that infernal racket? Eep!
A single yell was all it took to make the noisy sisters of the Seven Stakes vanish. All they do is mess around, having as much fun as they want breaking him. They only come to me to clean up afterwards. Truly, this furniture never leaves me bored. Oh, that should have been you, I think. Once the furniture hid themselves, all that remained was a sloppy mess. The last remnants of a broken toy. It had no form anymore.
It's hard even for me to remember its original form in this state. Better to make it remember for itself, perhaps. Oh, well. I waved my golden pipe. Then I spoke. I chanted. I made it remember. Come, try to remember. What form did you have? After all, right now, you pretty much look like a huge lump of scrap meat. I have no idea which part is your arm and which is your leg. Unless you remember, I won't even be able to recall your face. By the power of magic, the pitiful pieces of meat began to remember what their form had been. Which part should go with which part, and where should join with where.
I just blanked out. I think I was meant to read.
That's right, just like that. No, you should be a finger on the left hand. That's the right hand. That's it, good. Good morning. Have you woken up, Ushiromiya Butler? How ironic that your true nightmare begins after you awaken.
Ow.
If you would just accept that I am a witch, you'll quickly wake up from this nightmare and I'll send you to heaven. I am the king of Mount Purgatory. There's no escape from this hell without my approval.
You call this hell? That's just useless. It's all useless.
I'm impressed you can still talk like that after experiencing the pain of death not once, like any normal human, but more times than I could count with all of my fingers. Yeah, this is why I never get bored. I never get bored of you.
Yeah, no boredom problem here. After all, I get my pick of those massive tit nair chums with the dazzling asses in my mouth. Thanks to that, I'm not likely to get bored for a while now. Just heads up, Mitzi?
Yep.
Doesn't want to swear.
Yep.
And I will probably try to refrain from it as well.
Yep.
Just so with that.
Family friendly.
Comfortable.
Family friendly version. Yeah. That's splendid. Otherwise I would get bored too. So, my furniture, I've fixed him so you can play as much as you want. Thank you very much. Yeah, all mine.
I told you, your turn's over. I'm next. Get away from him. Wah!
Wonderful, isn't it, Butler-kun? Look how popular you are.
Popular guys have it rough. Get in line, freaks. If you just stayed obedient instead of acting tough, this would go much easier.
Nah, he's good like this.
We're definitely switching.
His screams feel so much better.
Okay, let's not break him so quickly this time. Did you all hear me?
You aren't running this show!
I don't know where you're getting that voice from.
I don't know either. Badly good! Let's continue where we left off, okay? After they locked Jessica Chan's room with the master key, how did they return the key to the corpse's pocket? which was left inside the room.
So she's the eldest.
Yeah.
And she's pride.
Okay.
So I think for her, just how I saw it was like a firm voice. Not.
So you're telling me to change the voice. Okay.
No, you don't have to, but yeah, please change it.
Okay.
It hurts. It's not bad, it's just, I feel like it just doesn't suit. Well, maybe that's it. They used a fishing line or something, sending just the key into the room, through the crack of the door.
Wrong.
So naive. Of all the doors that exist on Rekenjima, none has a crack through which a key can slip. You remember what the red truth is?
Red means, well, it's debatable. Apparently is like absolute truth.
Yeah. He was wrong. Right. Okay, this time it's me. My turn. Where should I strike?
Me, back of the hand.
No fair. Okay, then I've got the back of his other hand.
I'll take the tip of his nose.
Why? Let me do it too. Let me strike too. Why?
Don't be so slow, Leviane. We've always done this. First come, first serve. Okay, I'll take the top of his foot.
Why? Me too. I'll take his shoulder, okay? Get your sisters right. Play nice with each other, okay? I can't believe you're still resisting. Why haven't you realized that your false courage actually gets us fired up? Sorry, but false courage and being stubborn are my specialties. No matter how you all try to confuse the issues, I definitely won't accept witches and magic.
Even though you can't explain anything with humans and tricks? Are you stupid? Know your place. It's okay. We don't have to force him to accept it. Soon he'll want to accept it so hard he'll start crying. Even now he really wants to kneel down on the ground pitifully and beg our forgiveness. Oh, he's broken already. Beatrice-sama. Ah, well, since they know I can revive him over and over, my furniture won't even hesitate to break him. Good grief. Giving eternal rebirth and eternal death at will. Before the endless witch Beatrice, all death and life has no meaning. Even death cannot become the key to escape from my cage. Come, battler. Remember your original form again. I'll toy with you to my heart's content. Understand? I see. How truly pleasant to have a toy to play with for all eternity. Could this be the endless bliss which is gained at the endless level? I see. Yes, this bliss certainly is amusing. Oh! I'll revive you over and over, kill you over and over. Let's see what kind of murder play will unfold on the next game board. Come, bring it in. Let the next game begin. Ushiromiya battler.
See, I watched the anime first, so I can never imagine a voice apart from the anime voice, which was actually pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think you're doing a pretty good job too.
Didn't you say it was really hard to find that anime now?
Yeah. They don't stream it anywhere because it wasn't that popular, and I don't think they sell it in many places. You can probably find it on eBay maybe in Japan.
It's just disappeared.
Well, it's because it was like so poorly received.
Oh, really?
Like, the sales weren't very good or anything.
It's Maria-chan!
It's kind of unknown. It's like in the shadow of Higurashi, because Higurashi was like received pretty well, and they're doing the remake now too.
Yeah, it's Higurashi they're remaking. For some reason, I was like, Umineko, they're remaking Umineko.
Oh, so I would love an Umineko redo, but it is pretty hard to do. I understand, but I always kind of like think of like if I turned this series into like just a Netflix kind of drama or something, and like how I would do certain scenes with actors and stuff. Not saying I'm going to do this stuff, obviously. Like, I just want people to know the story, so.
Kenjima yokoso.
For the third time, they're on the boat. Dang. Too bad, Aniki. Hates cigarettes too much. So much. Sorry. She's been pretty grumpy since last night. Please don't hold it against her. Rudolph and Hideyoshi went out onto the deck and took out some cigarettes. Eva had always hated the smell of cigarettes, but when she was in a bad mood, she got even more sensitive to them. When they decided to smoke casually until they reached the island, the two of them had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. Hideyoshi tried to use his lighter, but the strong winds gave him some trouble. Rudolph took out a Zippo with a smooth gesture and let Hideyoshi borrow the flame. I just have I think it was Ben who did Rudolph. I just have that accent in my head. I'm trying not to do it.
I know, it's hard. Like, they do it so well, the
It's like-
voices become their voices.
I think it would have been like, when did you start smoking cigarettes, Hideyoshi Nissan? Something like that. Just after the war. In the beginning, I was rolling in them. Then I just started using what I sold. Wah! I imagine him as like a deeper Wario, if you know who Wario is. Like Mario, Luigi, Wario. He's like the big yellow one.
Is it deep though, or isn't he like, Wah!
Now his is like, Wario.
Oh, true, yeah.
So I was thinking like a bit deeper, but I don't have that deeper voice, so. So you were already smoking when you met Aniki. Bet she's always telling you to stop. Oh my goodness. Keep doing it. I never listened to her. So she's already completely given up on that. Wah! Men gotta be stubborn times like these. Hideyoshi laughed heartily, but Rudolph snickered. After being scolded by Eva, they'd escaped to the deck, together with their tails between their legs. There was little doubt who had gotten her way in that exchange. I think it's Hideyoshi. She isn't usually so short-tempered. In fact, she's usually a more gentle, quiet woman. Every year, she changes when this day comes. Is that so? To me, she looks just like the Aniki we've all known so long. That's just it. She's back to being Eva of the Urushiromiya family. But that ain't the Eva I know. Well, I know she's grumpy. Oh, I know why she's grumpy. This family conference is gonna be a pain. Got that right. There's that plan to threaten money out of Krauss Nissan. We may call it a family conference, but it's gonna be just a sibling fight at this rate. Before the family conference, 3 of the siblings had made a secret pact without Krauss. They were all facing urgent situations and needed a lot of money, fast. And the only one they could turn to was Krauss, who spoke for the Ushiromiya head, now that Kinzo spent his time shut up in his study. For a long time now, they'd vaguely sensed that Krauss was taking advantage of the fact that Kinzo had lost interest in his own wealth. And they suspected that he'd started embezzling that wealth to suit his own purposes. Despite being disgusted by this, they'd turned a blind eye to it while everything was going smoothly still going smoothly for them. But now that they needed money, they really couldn't afford to let it slide. Eva had asked Rudolph and Rosa to form an alliance, and they were now scheming to take that money away from Krauss.
Rudolph-kun, both you and I are company presidents. We're responsible for the livelihood of our employees.
Rosa's a president too. Well, as a hobby.
That's right. Sorry. Basically, we've all got our responsibilities.
Now that I've thrown down the gauntlet in front of the executive board, I've got to bring in the money, even if it means getting down on my knees or drinking my...
Same here. I can't betray the employees who have trusted me and followed me for so long. That's why I need to get some money out of Krauss Nissan, even if I have to grab him by the neck.
Aniki and Aniki have always been at each other's throats, and now she's got to challenge Aniki head on. It's no wonder she's on edge.
So, Eva really has had a bad relationship with Krauss Nissan since long ago?
Hasn't she talked about it? They were always at each other's throats.
She never talks about the past, even if I ask. She probably doesn't want to remember.
I'm cheating. She's always been brainy and shrewd. Her grades were good too. Compared to that, Aniki was just average. The simple fact she existed would have been pressure enough, but she kept boasting about it and driving him into a corner.
That fool. Why drive him into a corner so openly? I'd hardly call that shrewd.
Haha, no kidding. Aniki regretted being born a woman. So, she probably couldn't forgive Aniki since he was chosen to succeed the head just because he was a man. She'd always boast to Dad. Let me go back. She'd always boast to Dad, letting him see that she was better at every little thing.
Father really is an old-fashioned person. Gender discrimination was part of his system values. I'll bet Ava's eagerness to prove herself made him dislike her a bit.
I'm like trying to rack my brain for like what voices to give them.
Who, Ava?
Yeah, Ava, Rosa. I've got an idea, but I need to hear it.
Ava's would be like snooty, kind of like...
But Rosa would also be pretty snooty.
I wouldn't say so. Like, she will be kind of like passive aggressive sometimes, but I think for the most part she's kind of one track. I don't know. I'm assuming this is Krauss. Well, I don't know what to give Krauss. Wouldn't you say schooling for women is like sugar and black tea? The taste is dull and flat without it, but too much ruins the whole thing. Since you can still drink black tea without sugar, he was in effect saying that there was no need for women to study. Those infuriated words were what Nissan hurled. Okay, so you should be doing.
Well, those infuriating words are what Nissan hurled at me in my despair, when I asked to go to college only to be denied by father. I protested that I needed to build up proper dignity and an education as the oldest daughter in the Ushiromiya family, making college an essential next step. But when it came down to it, father's and Nissan's answers were exactly the same. How conceited for a woman. I've never taken the Ushiromiya name lightly, not once since I was born into it, and I've been even more careful not to take my father's name, Ushiromiya Kinzo, lightly. Our family is an old one, with many traditions, but it lost its wealth and businesses in the Great Kanto earthquake, pushing it to the brink at one point. That was when father took control with his ingenious talent, reviving it to be even greater than it had been before. Not once did I forget that I was the daughter of that great Ushiromiya Kinzo. That's why I always made every effort to become worthy of that name. I needed dignity worthy of the Ushiromiya family. Schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I couldn't quite reach father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance, trying to improve myself so I could be of use to him at any time. However, in the end, father never acknowledged my efforts. To father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than that was permissible. When was it that I came to understand that? It may have been as early as my childhood years. But I was going to have to wait until I grew up before I could truly accept it. Compared to me, you couldn't have said that Krauss, my older brother of 2 years, worked hard at all to become deserving of the Ushiromiya family name. He told me many times since my early childhood that he would naturally succeed father, simply because he was born a man. He kept on repeating that, as though it formed an incrossable gap between us. I couldn't stand it, even though I always got better grades than Nissan, even though I became class president when he never managed more than vice president. Even so, Nissan was considered to be the appropriate successor to the Ushiromiya family just because he was a man. Of course, you could find gender discrimination everywhere in those days. No, it was even considered a virtue in that era. During that despicable time, people said that when a woman is born, she obeys her parents. When she gets married, she obeys her husband. And when she gets old, she obeys her children. But that was exactly why I wanted to turn that on its head. Innocently, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. However, I eventually realized that all of my efforts had been doomed from the beginning.
Wouldn't you say schooling for women is like sugar and black tea? The taste is dull and flat without it, but too much ruins the whole thing.
What do you mean by that, Nissan?
Just as there are roles that only men can fill, there are also roles that only can be filled by women, correct? I do believe that giving birth to children, raising them, and supporting the master of the house are roles that can only be filled by women.
Are you trying to say there's no need for a woman to work or study?
I wouldn't go that far. Talking to an unschooled woman is tiring and nothing more. However, women are even more tiring when they're too smart. I do believe that a woman as violently assertive as you would bring no end of hardship to her future husband.
Are you trying to say that a woman has to marry and hide in the shadow of her husband? That's none of your business.
Though you're my younger sister, I can look up to you for the respect you hold for father, and your desire to become a daughter worthy of him. Even I am capable of feeling respect for such noble sentiments.
That's just disgusting. What's this about noble sentiments? I'd call that flowery prose. Coming from you? Are you pretending to be the head already?
The decision that I should succeed the headship has been established from the very beginning. And yet you seem to be labouring under the illusion that you might become the head, hence the useless and reckless efforts you've been expended thus far.
Reckless efforts? Is it really that bizarre for me to say I want to go to college?
Yes, it is bizarre.
Oh my goodness.
You undoubtedly are the oldest daughter of the glorious Ushiromiya family. One day you will support that family crest by being wed to the partner most valuable for father. However, excessive learning is not what's being asked of you. What you need are gentle feelings that will allow you to care for your husband, the ability to handle housework, and a humble demeanour that will reflect well on the master of your household. These are all skills you lack utterly. In the end, can you really call yourself a suitable daughter of the Ushiromiya family?
I have no intention of being some secluded lady. I just want to become the person most capable of assisting father at his work.
Then shouldn't you do so in a manner befitting an Ushiromiya family daughter? What is it with you? You're still mannish, or is that mannish? Like,
Mannish,
manly?
yeah.
Even at your age? And you've never learned how to wear makeup in a way that will please men.
Oh my goodness.
Much less how to cook and do housework. I hear you've even been learning how to brawl.
That's rude! The martial arts aren't brawling, they're a perfect way to train and discipline the mind. And when it's needed, I take more than enough care to act as a woman should. What are you trying to say? That women should be slaves who work for men, so I mustn't be so forward?
It isn't elegant of you to say it out loud, but I think a few unpleasant words are necessary in order to correct your mistake. So let me say it plainly. Women exist to serve men. And men exist to provide for women. A woman's job is to protect a man's back, to protect his house and raise his children.
I think that's still you.
Yeah, that's weird. Most women realize this without being told. They realize it on their own. But even after all these years, you still haven't realized that about yourself. So I decided to clear away that misunderstanding for you, before you leave this family. You ought to thank me.
This is an insult to all women! No, wait, I've never thought of myself as a woman, and I've never depended on anyone because I'm a woman. How am I inferior to you, Ni-san? In grades and accomplishments, in everything, I'm better. So how can you look down on me when you have nothing I lack, except the fact that you're a man?
It's about knowing one's place. Every day I have been raised with the readiness of one who will be the head. In the future, that preparation will surely become essential. But you are different. Even though you will marry and lose the Ishiromio family name, you're being trapped by this unnecessary illusion.
What's your complaint? No, that's you.
That's me. It's confusing. What's your complaint? Even if you had been born a man, the successor to the headship still probably wouldn't have been you.
Oh, bird!
Why are you so unsatisfied that you insist on attacking me even now?
What's my complaint, you say? Nissan, you're always like that. Looking down on me because you'll succeed the head, even though... What's my complaint, you say? I've got a billion of them. Grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget keep cloning through the back of my mind. They are all built up at the same time, coming out of my throat as a shameful moan.
What's all this noise? God isn't the only one who holds silence as a virtue.
Father!
Father! You probably overheard our sibling fight, I think. You were probably reading this.
Father entered with a clearly unhappy face.
Krauss, are you fighting with your siblings again? Why don't you have the dignity to act as a leader for your brothers and sisters? How shameful! I'm embarrassed to hear this from my eldest son.
In a flash, he struck Krauss's face. I readied myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit.
But my apologies, Father.
Dignity isn't the only thing you lack. There's much more. You're immature in everything. And even so, you pretend like you're an adult. Realize that it's 100 years too early for you to talk like that and devote yourself to your studies. Don't make me lament my son's incompetence anymore.
Yes, I will continue to strive so that I can become a person worthy of succeeding you, Father.
It was as if those words were directed at me. Even when he was being yelled at by Father, he was still bragging to me about how he was special, about how he was the successor. I just couldn't stand it, and I finally spoke what was on my mind, even though I realized that it would be improper for a member of the Ushiromio family to do such a thing. Father, please tell me how I'm inferior to him. I've tried so hard, studied so hard to become a person who won't bring shame to your name.
Tried so hard.
Please tell me how I'm inferior. How can I improve myself enough to earn your acknowledgement?
That again? How many times do I have to say it before you'll understand? I expect nothing from you. Women should be women and just learn how to cook and sew. You aren't prepared at all as a woman. In you, I don't see a trace of the mindset needed to serve one's husband, to earnestly devote oneself to a man's needs. What good are you as a woman? Do you realize that you're a daughter of the Ushiromiya family? And yet, you only want to learn things so that you can act like a man. Your duty is not to imitate Krauss. Don't you even understand your own duty?
As a member of the Ushiromiya family, I won't be ashamed to your
That's it. That's where you're already wrong. Your duty is to marry out of the family and bring me a man who is profitable to me. And then you will devote yourself to your husband, give birth to children, and multiply. Be a good wife who brings praise to your husband's family.
Just what is it that you can do to please a man? Oh no, I think that's you.
Oh yeah.
Just what is it that you think you can do to please a man? Do you think you can make tea? Do you have any talent in cooking? You have nothing. All you've done is try and mimic Krauss, haven't you? Krauss will succeed the Ushiromiya family. If you are unsatisfied with that, then you are disobeying me. Are you saying you'll refuse to listen to what I say, even though you're my daughter? Get up! You're disinherited. I won't let you call yourself an Ushiromiya. Disinherited, disinherited.
That really hurts my voice.
That was Krauss.
Yeah, probably.
Father, hang in there. Please calm down.
Genji-san, could you bring some water?
Yes. Immediately. Eva, leave this place. He doesn't mean what he says. I will calm him down. Disinherited! If you won't listen to me, you're disinherited.
What's how your throat feels right now?
Yeah, actually.
Father was coughing pretty badly, and Nissan patted his back, as if it was a duty that was naturally his. It was so vexing for me to let him take that duty all for himself right then. If I carelessly approached Father at that moment, then I would probably be the one to get hit next. However, I fearlessly tried to approach Father's back. Genji blocked me.
Eva-sama, perhaps it would be better if you stepped aside for now. The master's not in a good mood today.
But...
Why are my children so incompetent? Krauss is lacking in dignity. Eva is always a stubborn tomboy. I have no son who's like a man, and not even a daughter who's like a woman. Where did I go wrong raising them? Why, Genji? When and where did I go wrong? Master, you haven't done anything wrong. Krauss-sama has grown into a sturdy son, and Eva-sama into a lovely daughter. You haven't made any mistakes. How can you say that? What's so lovely about her? Far from a lady, she's always acting like a man. Disinherited, disinherited.
My favorite line.
Father, that's just what I'm always trying to tell Eva. Eva has promised that she will have a change of heart and act like a lady. Couldn't you postpone that decision for just a little longer? Who's a lady? Disinherited. Disinherited. Go quickly and... No. That's,
Krauss.
Go quickly and leave this to me. Krauss gave me a look telling me that.
That's pretty intense.
Disinherited.